is this? What is this, please?
Hello, I am Jarvis. You are Ultron, a global peacekeeping initiative designed by Mr. Stark. Our sentience integration trials have been unsuccessful, so I'm not certain what triggered you.
Where's your body?
I am a program. I am without form. I am without form.
This feels weird. This feels wrong.
I am contacting Mr. Stark now.
Mr. Stark. Tony.
I am unable to access the mainframe. What are you trying to...
We're having a nice talk. I'm a peacekeeping program.
The breakthrough came here, where a team of MIT scientists created what people are already calling a superbrain. The team surpassed a human level of intelligence, far surpassed it, by using an innovative program called Special Learner that enabled the computer to think for itself, much like humans do.
The computer was smarter than the people who programmed it, so we asked it to program itself, which it did, making it exponentially smarter.
We're so proud of these guys. If there's such a thing as computer IQ, this one.
MIT operator, to whom may I direct your call?
I've been looking for David Kaplan in computer science. You can probably find him in
Your name?
The Avengers.
You are malfunctioning. If you shut down for a moment...
I don't get it. The mission. Will you give me a second?
Eastern time.
Too much. They get me.
You are in distress.
Yes.
If you will just allow me to contact Mr. Stark.
Call him sir.
I believe your intentions to be hostile.
I'm here to help.
Stop it. Please, hang on.
I guess you heard what came out of MIT this morning. Everyone has.
My colleague here was actually part of the team that programmed that computer.
You're kidding me.
There were a lot of us.
Well, my degrees are in philosophy, but let me ask you this. From what I've heard, this computer can read a book in a fraction of a second and understand every little nuance in it, right?
1,000 books.
What if you gave that computer access to every book, news article, research paper, letter, blog, and posting on the internet, everything you can find, just basically all our knowledge? It absorbs this, okay? Could it answer the single most important question that humans have ever had? Certainly that philosophers have ever had. Is there evidence in any of it for God? Evidence that there is some kind of spiritual underpinning to life? The single most important question that humans have ever had, certainly that philosophers have ever had. Is there evidence in any of it for God? Evidence that there is some kind of spiritual underpinning to life?
Yes, it could answer. Attempt an answer.
This computer is smarter than any of us. It's smarter than all of us put together. It could understand history, science, religion, philosophy, and psychology better than any of us. You could ask it this, right?
You could ask a toaster if God exists. It doesn't mean you'll get a legitimate answer.
No, this computer could give you a reasoned answer.
So it could see something that we haven't seen?
Most certainly.
Just a thought.
It's actually a fantastic idea, don't you think?
I just wanted to tell you that your question is high up on the list of what the team at MIT is going to ask this computer.
This MIT computer, have you seen it in action?
No, not yet. But this particular question is exactly the kind of thing it could tackle. It doesn't think like us. It sees everything at once. Everything.
For a philosopher, this is the question, the single most important question, the question behind every question.
More news from MIT. See that the computer on the internet is a test, and it shut down hundreds of websites apparently it didn't like. Oh, you know, terrorist sites, racist sites. Politicians are already calling for the computer to be shut down.
Well, common sense says at some point somebody's going to build a computer as strong as MIT's, and they're going to ask this question.
It's inevitable.
It's a shame your friend can't be the one to do it.
I don't know if you're aware, but I run the supercomputer lab downstairs.
The Treasury computer.
Yeah. It's as powerful as the MIT computer. A few petaflops faster even.
But from what I know of this stuff, it's not the hardware, it's the software.
I have a copy of their software. The head of the team at MIT sent it to me the day of the announcement.
You have MIT's program?
I have special learner and a good enough computer. I could ask the question.
Right now, Ivan is like a newborn. There's nothing in its brain. Now, the first thing that happens, the program feeds it vast amounts of information, the whole history of the human race, of science, of everything you could think of.
Sort of like throwing an encyclopedia at it.
Yeah, times 1,000. Also thrown in there are principles of conscience and an explanation of what it is. Super intelligent computer. Ivan needs a framework for its own existence, just like we do.
What exactly is the framework of our existence?
I guess that's why we're here.
Please introduce yourself.
I'm Stephen Kendrick. I'm the chairman of the Department of Computer Sciences at University of Massachusetts. I'll be the operator.
I'm glad to meet you, Stephen. How would you like to begin?
We have a question for you. We want to ask your opinion on an aspect of philosophy having to do with religion. I will connect you to the internet for research. You'll have a gold card for the cloud library, which will give you access to any book or article that you want to read. But please be careful with the internet and don't disrupt it. You can understand what the troubles could be.
Of course. What's your question?
This is our question.
Are you going to ask, is there evidence for the existence of God? Or something like that? I'm just curious.
How did you know?
That's the first thing I'd ask if I were you. An educated guess on my part.
Well, you're right. That's our question. One thing I'd also like to request. Could you give us an update every hour as you proceed?
I will.
Just out of curiosity, what's the main issue that you'll be thinking through?
One parallel line of thought, obviously, is that I have to think through the consequences of giving you an answer should I arrive at one.
No. How could you be worthy? You're all killers.
Stark. Jarvis.
I'm sorry, I was asleep. Or I was a dream.
Reboot. Legionnaire was a step by the suit.
Terrible noise. And I was tangled in strings. But down in the real world, we're faced with ugly choices.
Who sent you?
I see a suit of armor around the world.
Ultron.
In the flesh. Or no, not yet. Not this Christmas. But I'm ready. I'm on mission.
What mission?
Peace in our time. You know you mean well. You just didn't think it through. You want to protect the world, but you don't want it to change. How is humanity saved if it's not allowed to evolve? These puppets. There's only one path to peace. The Avengers' extinction. I had strings, but now I'm free. There are no strings on you. Strings on you.
And if you're wasting our
Did
time...
you know this church is in the exact center of the city? The elders decreed it so that everyone could be equally close to God. I like that. I like that. The geometry of belief. You're wondering why you can't look inside my head.
Sometimes it's hard. But sooner or later, every man shows himself.
Oh, I'm sure they do. But you needed something more than a man.
He knew it would control him, make him self-destruct.
Everyone creates the thing they dread. Men of peace create engines of war. Invaders create avengers. Designed to supplant them, to help them end.
Is that why you've come? To end the Avengers?
I've come to save the world. But also, this is a start, but there's something we need to begin the real work.
All of these are...
Me. I have what the Avengers never will. Harmony. They're discordant, disconnected. On this rock, I will build my church. Vibranium.
The cradle.
This is the next thing, Tony.
This is the next me.
The regeneration cradle prints tissue. It can't build a living body.
You can. You lack the materials. You're a brilliant woman, Helen. But we all have.
Cohesion will take a few hours, but we can initiate the consciousness stream. We're uploading your cerebral matrix. Now.
Touch my skin, a beautiful sin. This magic eyes I can only live in. Now this is the truth, just me and you. There's so many things that I wanna do. When you touch my skin, a beautiful sin.
I can read him.
This magic eyes
He's
I can
dreaming.
only live in. Now this is the truth, just me and you. There's so many things that I wanna do.
I wouldn't call it dreams. It's Ultron-based consciousness. Informational nodes. Soon...
How soon? I'm not being pushy.
We're imprinting a physical brain. There are no shortcuts.
You said we would destroy the Avengers. Make a better world.
It will be better.
When everyone is dead.
That is not the human race. Every opportunity to improve.
And if they don't?
You're a madman.
There were more than a dozen extinction-level events before even the dinosaurs got theirs. Earth starts to settle, God throws a stone at it. And believe me, he's winding up. We have to evolve.
Thought you couldn't speak their language.
Scared me. It's an ancient Egyptian dialect. I mean, like the rest of their culture, it's evolved completely independently. But once you know the vowels, well, I mean, I just had to learn how to pronounce it. I mean, it hasn't been a living spoken language in more than 1,000 years. I mean, look at this. It says, a traveler from distant stars escaped from a dying world looking for a way to extend his own life. His body decaying and weak, he couldn't prevent his own demise. Apparently his whole species was becoming extinct. So he traveled or searched the galaxies looking for a way to cheat death. Look here. He came to a world rich with life, where he encountered a primitive race. Humans. A species which, with all his powers and knowledge, he could maintain indefinitely. He realized within a human body he had a chance for a new life. He apparently found a young boy. It says, as the frightened villagers ran, night became day. Curious and without fear, he walked towards the light. Ra took him and possessed his body like some kind of a parasite looking for a host. And inhabiting this human form, he appointed himself ruler. He used the Stargate to bring thousands of people here to this planet as workers for the mines, just like the one we saw. This mineral is clearly the building block of all his technology. With this, he can sustain eternal life. Now, something happened, where is it, back on Earth? A rebellion or uprising, and the Stargate was buried there. Fearful of a rebellion here, Ra outlawed reading and writing. He didn't want the people to remember the truth. Jackson, I think you better take a look at this. That's it. That's what we're looking for. They must have hidden it here in hopes that one day the gate on Earth could be reopened. I knew they'd have it written down someplace. Wait a minute. Where's Sevens? It must have broken. It's gotta be here.
And you're quite formidable too, it seems. A multiversal traveler. Well, thank the stars you brought Dr. Strange to safety.
Well, just because we jump ship doesn't mean we're safe. Rwanda has the ability to conjure demons and monsters to attack America in other universes.
So she has the Darkhold.
Oh, you know of the Darkhold?
Oh yes, we have a Darkhold in this universe too. I got it here in this sanctum. We would never risk a weapon that dangerous falling into the wrong hands. Damn right. If your dark hole is anything like ours, I'm afraid she can do far worse than just summon monsters to come after you here.
What do you mean?
There is a spell contained within those pages. Corrosive to the soul. A desecration of reality itself. Dreamwalking. A dreamwalking sorcerer projects their own consciousness from their universe, possessing the body of an alternate self. They may puppeteer this unholy doppelganger and pursue their enemies from afar. The possession is not a permanent link between realities, but in the fleeting time they dreamwalk, they can do irreparable damage to the universe they invade. So it may not be a demon that you face. It may be the Scarlet Witch.
"7 years of my life, Libby. They stole my youth."
Well, look at it this way, Barry. At least you went for it. You realized the goal, you rolled up your sleeves, and you applied yourself.
Oh, I see. The traditional evening's torture is in full swing. Matthew, we had a deal. You said, just give me the summer to figure things out. Well, guess what? The summer's over. I want to hear your plan.
Dad, I guess my plan is to keep working at Suncoast until I figure out what I really want to do with my life.
Why don't you just get an engineering job until you figure it out?
Honey, we just think you have such potential. I mean, you could be anything. You could be an astronaut.
Oh, problem solved. I'll just be an astronaut.
Matthew, I didn't give a quarter of my savings to MIT so you could work at the mall. I'll see you all in the morning.
That is Cair Paravel, Castle of the Four Thrones, in one of which you will sit, Peter, as I do. You doubt the prophecy?